KUGAN, CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global win Saudi Arabia. We've never said this before, Callum.
It's first.
Saudi
IFL
Arabia.
first.
Definitely. Joined by Callum Smith. Yeah, a little bit of a, not a strange press conference, but I think the questions from the people in the crowd were kind of a little bit different to what you're usually being asked at a press conference.
Yeah, I think with the language thing and stuff like that, the questions were a bit different, but this whole tournament's been different since the way it go, and I've enjoyed it. It's been a great tournament, and I plan on winning it on Friday night. But Everton's done now, press conference done, waiting tomorrow, and in my eyes, I'm just one day closer to become a world champion.
A few eyebrows raised when it was announced that it would be in Jeddah and Saudi, and we've gone through all this before, but Joe Gallagher, your trainer, saying that this has kind of suited you guys for the best. Is that how it's kind of turned out?
Yeah, in terms of, probably not so much the fight, but in terms of fight week, if you're in Liverpool, you've got a lot of running around to do, and people mad at you for interviews and dropping tickets off, and there's a lot of certain fighters, Andy Callum being one of them, here and everywhere trying to please all his fans and stuff, and it's good to just not have any of that stress. I get up, I'm in the hotel, I do what I want, and I do is what I want to do, and I'm not having to worry about other stuff. So I think that side of it Joe kind of liked. Obviously the fight, would it have been better in England? Possibly, for a better crowd, but it's still a fight. We're still fighting each other regardless of where it is, so I'm sure the fight will be just as good regardless of where it is.
A few people kind of questioning whether George's shoulder's going to hold out for this fight, which is obviously the delay in this fight actually happening in the first place, Callum. Does that sort of enter your head at all? Are you not thinking about that whatsoever?
No, not whatsoever, because in my opinion, if it wasn't fully healed, he wouldn't be sitting at that table there. He's got his world title, he could recover as long as he wanted and still walk into a big fight, a big world title fight. He doesn't need this tournament to have a world title fight. He takes his belt with him, and if I was to base a training camp on an unfit George Groves, then I'd be in for a shock if he is 100%. So I'm expecting the best version of him. He always seems to perform in his big domestic fights, and I'm expecting a big performance from himself, and I know that I need a big one from me. So I'm expecting a good fight, but I just believe the best version of me beats him.
What do you say to people that kind of compare your records and sort of point out to you that you've not been in with anyone at the calibre of George Groves or who George Groves has been in with? What's your counter to that?
Yeah, I can't really argue with that, but there's a face for Everton, and I believe I'm good enough to beat George Groves. And when people like the top fighters George Groves has boxed, in my opinion, have beaten Patujak and Carl Froch, both beat him. And anyone other than that, his next best win is probably Eubank, and I don't believe he's a top level fighter. He could be, but he's not at the moment, and especially the performance he put in against Groves. So it's styles make fights, and it's all about timing, and I just believe it's my time to become a world champion, and it's George's time to hand the belt over to me.
What do you take from his win over Eubank? Do you take anything from that at all?
He boxed well. He stuck to a game plan. I think he was the only one who had a game plan beforehand, and he stuck to it. But I think Eubank, stylistically, I picked George to beat him anyway. But I think he underperformed. He was loading up and swinging, and made George's job a little bit easier. But you couldn't be any different in style for me and Chris Eubank. So his tactics that beat Eubank, I don't believe beat me. So I can take bits from it, but not a lot, because stylistically it's completely different. But Joe's watched a lot of George's fights against all different styles, and the stuff he adapts to, but the stuff he does in every single fight regardless. So tactically I believe we've got a good game plan to go in there and get the job done.
Do you think he's improved as a fighter since going under Shane McGuigan?
He's improved since he left Adam Bood and he started holding his feet and fighting, but I don't think he's as good as he was when he was with Adam Bood, when he was in his prime years, when he was 24, 25. I believe he was a better fighter then than he is now. He's probably a bit more experienced and a bit smarter fighter now, but athletically and physically I don't believe he's as good.
You believe you stop George Groves?
Yeah, I do, and that's not saying it's going to be an easy fight. I think he's a very good fighter, and he will possess problems that I'll need to overcome, but I just think he's shown vulnerabilities in the past, and I believe I'll take advantage of them.
Interesting place here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's
what have you done here? Like, where have you been? What have you done? I
Not
know
a lot.
your clan's here.
Yeah, I've been out to shopping and stuff like that. He took us out, and again, it was quiet. There's not a lot happening. Been to see the venue, been for little walks of a night, and it's just so peaceful. Everyone's just quiet, polite. It's a nice place to live, but after you get bored after a bit. Not a lot happens, but it's good for fight week.
Different from Liverpool, anyway.
Yeah, massively different.
But I think a good question was actually asked you, and you probably haven't thought, and George said he hadn't really thought about it, was you two coming here, headlining a fight of this kind of magnitude, is kind of like the first steps of boxing being here, and does it kind of open the door to further fights? But you two will always be the first, and it's worth pointing out that it's quite an accurate fact.
It's a bit of like first boxing here, and I think that sort of kind of shows what the tournament's about. They want to do bigger and better than any tournament that's been previously, and putting a fight in a place where they've never had boxing before. If we go and have fight of the year on Friday night, then it could kickstart boxing in Saudi Arabia, and you could see more and more, and we could be the ones who started it off. If the fight's a stinker, they might never see boxing here ever again. So again, in the future, looking back, we may be at the start of something big. It could just be a one-off and a flash in the pan, but we'll just have to wait and see. But as long as I come here and become a world champion, then I'll always have fond memories of Jeddah, regardless of whether there's any more boxing here.
Like you said in the press conference, 22 years old, you turned professional, and kind of everything leads up to this moment, and it's your time to kind of...
Yeah, it's massive. I've always turned professional, and different fighters set the bar at different levels. People know I want to become a British champion, and mine was the very best in the world, and I may have set the bar high in some people's expectations, but I always believed I was good enough to do it. And without being disrespectful to anyone I've beat previously or any title I've won, I've enjoyed every one of them, but I've never been fully satisfied. I won a British title, and it was let's move on, and I won the European title, and it was I've never fully appreciated what I've achieved because it's never been the end goal. And Friday night I get a chance to do that. I think I'll be fully satisfied, and I finally be able to sit and enjoy a win and be proud of something that I've achieved and be fully satisfied with it. And it's exciting, the thought of becoming a world champion finally, and just everything building up, and just to achieve a childhood dream would be something special.
Final one, Callum, just 2 days away. Looking at it now, there was obviously talk before of potential replacements coming in instead of George Groves, but you want to beat George Groves, you want to stop George Groves, you want to knock George Groves out. So it wouldn't have been the same, it being anyone else, because you two were the kind of, the winners of the semi-final more so.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted George Groves from the start of the tournament. The minute his name was in there with his world title, that was basically the final push for me to enter the tournament. If there wasn't a world title in it, I may not have entered it. The end goal was the world title, and when there was talk of the replacements, I could have boxed the replacement, and financially it was the same, but there was no world title, and if it would have beat someone else, if it would have beat a KUGAN in the final, people would still question, was it good enough to beat George Groves? So it was just another step on the way to the very top, in my opinion, which I don't feel I need. I've had too many of them, so I was prepared to wait for George. George is the best in the world at the minute, and rightly so, and I believe me beating him puts me there.
Callum, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. I don't know who tapped me on the shoulder there.
Yeah.
It might have been Joe. Or your old man. If it's your old man, I'm stopping right now. Thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and we'll catch up with you after the weigh-in tomorrow. Top man.